Kylo's running scared of Star Wars fans and Comic Cons. And we're going to talk about that a little. And I'll tell you about my awkward experience with the man himself. While appearing on the UK's Graham Norton Show, Driver was asked point blank by the host if he liked going to Comic Con his first time. The actor replied with a simple and concise,
no.
I didn't know the rules of Comic Con, Driver told Norton. I got in at the hotel at 2 a.m. and I'm like, maybe tomorrow I'll go and get a coffee. And they're like, oh, no, you can't get a coffee. I'm like, well, maybe I'll get a coffee in the hotel then. They're like, no, you can't get a coffee in the hotel. If you want to go outside, they're like, put a mask on so nobody knows who you are. I think that's fun. I wouldn't be intimidated by that. As he further reveals, he also wasn't prepared for the die-hard dedication and obsession that Star Wars fans have for the franchise.
I opened my window because I'd been in the room for 24 hours before this thing we're supposed to do, and then there was a band at the bottom of the building playing the Star Wars theme on repeat because we were all staying in a hotel. So it was scary.
I mean, it's nice, but I'm not anxious to go again. If it's true, if he really feels this way, I think it's sad and a shame, but I don't believe it. I don't believe it will be his last for two reasons. I think, first of all, I think he was at least part joking. That's the vibe of the Graham Norton Show anyway. It's quite lighthearted, and it's in the contract nowadays. You know, Comic Con, the San Diego one, is part of many films, release schedule. It's in the contract, and I would be very surprised if Adam Driver's not part of a major franchise again. Besides, he has to be more used to the fame now, whether he likes it or not. But away from his apparent Comic-Con phobia, I met the guy when I was at the Last Jedi press junket. Press junket, if you don't know, it's when you get like 5 minutes in a hotel room with someone who's seen a lot of someone's in the same hotel room all day asking the same mundane questions. Nobody likes press junkets. On my side and their side, nobody likes them. And I talk more about this and other interview experiences in my Patreon-only series, which is available for the price of a cup of coffee a month. But I will tell you a little bit about meeting Driver here, because I'm a little confused by the guy, I have to say. He was very polite in the brief time I had with him, because the 5 minutes includes pleasantries, getting in, saying hello, sitting down, getting out again. And he did have that to the point, dry sense of humor, I think. At the same time, though, it's so dry, you start to wonder, is he joking? Is he actually just a bit awkward and difficult? So I asked a question, and it's not funny, but it was along the lines of, how hard is Kylo holding out for a My Chemical Romance reunion? And he answered with, I don't know what that is. Move on, essentially. And the rest of the time, limited time, was fine, I thought. But it upset his agent. His agent, not a Disney agent, which sounds very sinister, doesn't it? And I wasn't allowed to use the interview. And he won't know this, by the way. This all happened, later on, outside the room. I've heard from someone very involved with the sequel trilogy that he's not much fun to be around. But equally, I've heard the opposite from someone else who's actually not as involved with the sequel trilogy. So I don't know what he's really like. I think only Adam Driver really knows. But I'm leaning towards it simply being his sense of humor with the Comic-Con thing, and therefore it not really being a thing, but fun to talk about. Eh? And certainly my experience was more, his agent was more of the issue, which is more of a consistent issue, actually, to be honest, in showbiz. I think Adam Driver will be back at a convention, a Comic-Con again one day. Panic over, everybody.